All right, everybody. Hello. It's Bronson's by any means necessary fantasy baseball advice for. We'll just do the rest of the week as quickly, as efficiently as I can. I stopped filming for a while because I tried to do baseball, and my videos took forever to upload, and I kind of need them to upload a little faster because the information I'm putting out is a little timely, time sensitive stuff. So, just in case this doesn't upload within the next, it's 9:30, 12 hours. So hopefully it just uploads overnight like it normally 90% of the time does. And we'll get the information out to you Thursday. Not a lot of games tomorrow, but I'm going to try something a little bit differently when it comes to my streaming pictures. So, I've also got 5 hitters for you to consider adding if you need some hitting help. Real quickly, let me catch you up on my life. Went on vacation for my birthday, went to Puerto Rico. Absolutely phenomenal trip. Absolutely loved it. I met a woman there even. She's not from there. She was on vacation for her birthday as well. Her birthday was the day after mine. I'm a couple years older than her. She's originally from Philadelphia. So it's cool to meet somebody. Whether that turns into like anything romantic, probably not, because we live on opposite sides of the country. But it was nice to make a friend at the very least on my trips. I've been wanting to meet people, make some friends in the places I go, and I'm not an outgoing person, so it's hard for me to make friends in general. So I'm really happy, really pleasantly, really pleased that I was able to meet somebody, and we might just come into Vegas at the end of the month. And Vegas is not very far from me. It's also really cheap, and I got a couple days off in a row. I'm thinking I might go down there. We might, meet up in Vegas again. Meet up on a trip again. Remains to be seen. And unfortunately, I didn't spend all my time in Puerto Rico. I should have. In hindsight, I should have just spent my entire trip, 6 days, in Puerto Rico. But I wanted to see as many places as possible, check as many places off my list as I possibly could. I also went to Washington, D.C. for the weekend. I spent the week in Puerto Rico, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I spent Saturday, Sunday in D.C. because I was supposed to go to D.C. when I was 14, and my parents, at the last minute, after I did all the fundraising for the trip, for my school trip, they told me I couldn't go, and I was bummed about it. So I was like, I'm going now. Now that I'm 35 years old, my mom and dad can't tell me no. Well, I did not enjoy DC much. The weather was terrible. I didn't pack for rain, so I was just walking around, getting soaking wet the whole day, the whole Saturday, because it was just miserable. It was just downpour the whole time. And it was just, even despite the weather, there was a bunch of tourists out. They were not fazed by the weather at all. Most of them had umbrellas, hoodies, coats, stuff like that. I had nothing, and I was trying to stop at like the shops because they got like trucks down in the National Mall. They got museums and stuff like that where you can buy hoodies. And I was like, I'm not paying $50-$60 for a hoodie that I'm gonna wear for 2 days. Wasn't gonna do it. By that point, I was lower on funds than I anticipated being. And so I spent most of the day in the rain, and it was okay when it was a light drizzle. I'm used to a light drizzle here in the Pacific Northwest, and I went out to Arlington National Cemetery, walked out there because it's just right across the bridge from the Lincoln Memorial, and I walked around out there. Very beautiful, serene place. I was okay in the rain at that point because there's a lot of trees, a lot of cover from the rain, and I was like, these people here sacrificed their lives for my freedom and for our freedom. So the least I can do is sacrifice my comfort and my warmth for them while I'm out here. That's kind of what I was thinking. But when I was coming back, it was a freaking torrential downpour at that point. So I was coming back across the Arlington Memorial Bridge. It really is not that long of a walk. I got completely soaked, and by that point, I was pissed. I had to go find a store to like a Marshalls, found a Marshalls that was close by, walked in there, bought the best hoodie I could find for $20, and wore that around for the rest of the weekend. And then my hotel sucked, complete dump. It was, and then I got double booked. So I ended up in this room with these guys who, were smokers. So the room smelled like an ashtray. Eventually we got it sorted out. They got moved to another room. I got stuck in that room. Luckily I opened up the window, aired it out, and by the next day it smelled normal in there, but complete dump of a hotel, and it was not as close to the city as I thought. But when I initially looked it up, I thought it said that I was with... Sorry, my phone is alerting me that it's dying. I was expecting that. When I initially booked it, I thought it was closer to all the sites than it actually was. But luckily, I mean, the bus ride down there wasn't too long, and it wasn't complicated at all. It's the one thing I have to say about the DC. About DC is that the transit system's pretty neat, pretty convenient. The only problem is I tried to go to Annapolis because all my research said that there was a bus line or a train line from DC, Annapolis, Baltimore. Did like a little triangle. All right, so I was like, okay, I can do that. Well, it turns out there was no train or bus from what was the town called? New Carrollton. Yeah, so I had to take the bus from Silver Spring to New Carrollton, Maryland, which was not bad. But then getting from New Carrollton to Annapolis, there was no route for me, no train, no bus. And even though Google Maps told me there was a route that would get me to Annapolis and back from Annapolis, that route did not even exist. The transit people who worked for the transit system had no idea what route I was even talking about. And it so happened to be a Sunday. So apparently there was a route, there was a bus route that existed that would have got me from Annapolis to at least New Carrollton or to DC, but it only ran Monday through Saturday. So Sunday, I was screwed. Ended up spending a lot of money on Lyft and went completely broke on that trip. It just was not a good time. I'm happy for the experience. I'm thankful that I finally got to go to DC after all these years, but it's probably not a place I'm going to go back to. I don't have a whole lot of positive memories. But let's get to it. 8 minutes in. The 5 hitters to consider adding right now. Josh Naylor of the Cleveland Guardians. I know that he's kind of out. He's sick right now with COVID, I believe. So his ownership is trending down. I think it was above 50% up until this week. But he's due to come back soon. I heard as early as Friday. And Josh Naylor's been a tantalizing prospect for some years. I remember in high school, he was in Canada or something, and he was like winning these home run derbies. A lot of power, a lot of potential. He's finally getting regular playing time here in Cleveland. He also has first base and outfield eligibility, which is nice to have at those two premium positions. Have a bat like that. I think Josh Naylor is a guy who is probably, once he does come back on Friday, should be a priority add for his bat. Other guys, Mike Moustakas of the Reds. I know the Reds are terrible, but Mike Moustakas is healthy, and he's been productive over the last couple of weeks, despite the Reds being poor. And it's a good bet. I would bet my paycheck that he's not going to finish the season in Cincinnati. He's going to get dealt to a team that could really use him and will put him in positions to be even more successful. So Mike Moustakas is a great buy low candidate. His ownership is low enough that you don't really have to buy. You don't even have to burn a waiver claim. You should be able to just pick him up as an ad. Right now, you probably can get him right now and lose nothing. Harrison Bader, an outfielder for the Cardinals, he's going to play every day because of his defense alone. He's a perennial Gold Glove winner in center field. The problem has been his bat. We've been waiting patiently for his bat to catch up to his glove, and he hasn't been super exciting. He hasn't been super productive, but he is consistent enough and he does play every single day, barring injury, that he's worth having as a backup outfielder, utility player, someone who you can, if you're like me and you use your bench spots for pitchers, you don't want to carry any more hitters than absolutely necessary. Harrison Bader's a good guy to have because he's going to provide you something every single day, except for when the Cardinals have a day off or whatever. Brendan Rodgers of the Rockies, he's been a promising young hitter for a while. He's now finally getting everyday opportunities. He's eligible at second base and shortstop. He's been really coming on for the Colorado Rockies lately and playing his home games in Coors Field, playing half his games in Coors Field will only benefit him as the weather gets warmer. So Brendan Rodgers is another guy who you should be looking to add right now if you need middle infield help, because I know that filling that middle infield spot, when I draft, when I'm building my fantasy baseball team, that middle infield spot is the very last spot that I look to fill, because it's just, you can always find guys on the wire who are going to outproduce their draft ranking, and Brendan Rodgers is probably going to be that guy this year. Another another player to consider adding who's not been called up yet, but it is imminent, is Adley Rutschman, the very talented young catcher for the Orioles. Any day now, he's going to get called up, and once he does get called up, he's immediately a top 10 catcher, top 10 fantasy catcher. So you don't want to be the guy who misses out on Adley Rutschman, especially given the dire straits of the catching position that it's always been, and it's not getting any better this year. I've been carrying Adley Rutschman all year, and I'm getting tired of having to carry two catchers. So I want the Orioles to call up Rutschman tomorrow. That'd be great. Then I could drop my other useless catcher and just roll with Rutschman for the rest of the summer. Some pitchers to consider streaming. I got a couple from tomorrow's games. It's a light slate of games for tomorrow, but the two from tomorrow are facing each other. George Kirby of the Mariners, my Mariners, who are looking like another disappointment, and the young. So we got young, and we got George Kirby, a very promising young starting pitcher for the Mariners, who I'm really high on. I've been high on him since they drafted him. And then Rich Hill, who's I think probably the oldest. He's got to be the oldest player in baseball this year. He's had 3 consecutive starts of 15 points or more, and the Mariners, though, have the potential to be a very good offense and a good team. It's not really so far coming together. It's early. Usually these teams that play in colder weather cities don't start to gel until it gets hot. There, Seattle, is about as north as it gets in baseball. Hopefully they gel, because I am so tired of missing the playoffs. It's so embarrassing to be a Mariners fan. Like I've been a fan since I was like 8 years old, and they were good, really good when I was a kid. Really, really young, really promising. A lot of talent from like '95 until 2001. A lot of really good players. A lot of good teams came through the Kingdome and Safeco Field, which is now T-Mobile Park. As a kid, being a Mariners fan, that was the hip thing to do, especially in these parts. But now, my entire adult life, I've never seen the Mariners make the playoffs, and this was supposed to be the year. And who knows? Who knows if they will? I want to be a hopeful, optimistic fan, but I am a realistic person by nature, and so I don't know. I have no faith in Dipoto or Scott Service or this ownership group, so I will not be surprised one bit if this ends up being another disappointing year. But again, 2 pitchers to consider streaming for tomorrow would be George Kirby of the Mariners and Rich Hill of the Red Sox, both facing each other. Now, a couple of starters for... No, I don't have any. I have one each for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Friday, if I'm able to upload this video in a timely manner. I may do another short video tomorrow to go through a couple more pitchers to stream. But as of right now, my top streamer for Friday is Jacob Junis of the Giants. He'll be seeing the Padres. I know the Padres are good. I trust Jacob Junis. He showed a lot of potential with Kansas City when Kansas City was bad. I'm not saying Kansas City's good now, but he's in a much better situation. San Francisco's a good team, great manager, they've shown over the last couple of years that they're very, very solid at developing pitchers and simplifying a pitcher's approach and making them more productive. I think they're going to do the same thing with Jacob Junis. I like Jacob Junis as a starter for the rest of the year. His matchup on Friday isn't the best on paper, but I do think that, given his track record so far this year, 3 out of 4 starts have been really good. I like him again on Friday. For Saturday, we got Jose Quintana of the Pirates at the Cardinals. Jose Quintana is coming off 2 back-to-back 20-plus point starts. Jose Quintana, we know, is a really good pitcher when healthy. He has just struggled very badly with injuries over the last few years, which has really held him back fantasy-wise. But I think he's healthy now. I think he's hopefully back to being close to the same pitcher he was 4 years ago. And the Pirates are going to give him every opportunity to succeed, to eat innings. So he's a good streamer for Saturday. And then on Sunday, Corey Kluber, the 2-time Cy Young Award winner, facing a really bad Orioles team at Camden Yards. I know that's a little concerning, but Corey Kluber so far this year has looked pretty good. He looked pretty good last year before he got hurt. Corey Kluber is a pitcher that we can trust to roll out there when he's on the field. Historically, like I said, he's won the Cy Young twice. He's one of those guys that you can just set and forget when he's healthy, even though he is aging now. Tampa Bay is a great situation for him in a great home park when he pitches at home. Even though, yes, Camden Yards is notoriously bad for pitching. The Orioles are just a terrible team right now. So I don't fear them until Adley Rutschman gets called up. I don't fear anybody in the Baltimore hitters more than I trust Corey Kluber. So I like Corey Kluber to potentially set you over the top in your matchup this week on Sunday. All right. As always, I was a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I'm just really hoping this uploads in a timely manner, within the next 12 hours. Sometimes my videos, they upload like half hour, and then other times they take like 30 hours. I don't understand it, but I'm hoping, since I've backed off on the daily recording, that it's going to be cooperative with me. So, peace, love, and nacho fries. Namaste, and good luck to you. And I'll see you when I see you. I'll see you when I record again or whatever. So, good night.